Salutations. It is I, Ultra of Toro Productions, and it's that time of year again, Spooktober. And you know what that means, another round of Spooktober Storytime. This time, on this night, we have Fear the Enemy, as read by Robin9309.
I have to admit, I've always been a big fan of Jonathan Crane, aka the Scarecrow in the Batman universe. He's a fascinating character with a twisted personality. He was always my favorite rogue in Batman the Animated Series. So when my best friend told me that there was a lost episode in which Jonathan was changed back into a little kid, I was like, hell yeah, just give me the DVD. And she did. Thinking about it, I guess I should have been wary. My best friend was never fond of Batman. Indeed, she always thought of my sick passion for this cartoon was kind of weird. But at the moment, I was just too happy to be suspicious. And when she gave me the DVD, I could only think of one thing. Watching it as soon as I could. I got home earlier than usual that day. One of my teachers was sick, and I left school in a hurry, eager to watch that lost episode. I put the DVD in the drive and sat on the couch with a bowl of soda crackers. Everything started normally. Batman was chasing Scarecrow down Gotham streets, with Robin, of course. Jonathan ran into a dark alley and hid behind a dumpster, looking tired and sick. He was paler and skinnier than usual, with cold sweat all over his face. And I immediately thought that he might have been drugged or something along those lines. The camera got back to Batman, who was still looking for the villain, looking very worried. "Have you found him yet?" asked Robin. "He can't have got too far. Dr. Bartholomew said he was weaker than a kitten when he left." "That's what I'm afraid of, Robin. A weak and scared Scarecrow is a very dangerous Scarecrow." "But we're here to help him. For goodness sake, Batman. It's not like we're gonna hurt him." "I'm fully aware of that. But the man isn't. Remember, he is sick." I don't know why I began to feel very uncomfortable here. Batman was usually very calm, very confident. And at this moment, well, let's say it clearly, he seemed scared, very scared, of what I didn't know, but I wasn't so sure I wanted to know. A part of me wanted to turn off the television, but the other part of my brain was like, "No, don't. Jonathan is trouble. No, don't. Jonathan is in trouble. That'll be nice, to see the Batman helping him for once." So I sat there, unable to get my eyes off the screen. The camera got back to Jonathan, who was sitting on the floor. His heartbeat was literally deafening and seemed in great pain. That's when things started to go wrong. The Scarecrow screamed. A scream so shrill and loud I literally jumped from the couch out of pure fright. He spat blood, a lot of blood, and his body started to convulse. His eyes were so bloody red, and his face, oh God, his face was paler than a ghost. I never wanted to so much as to turn that damn TV off, but I was paralyzed by fear. I could just look at that damn screen wondering, what the hell is going on? I could just look at that damn screen wondering what was going on, and I just was thinking, What the hell is this? Then it all ended. Jonathan stopped moving. It was as if he died just there. It was as if he just had all... It was like he had just died there, in this dark alley. His screams alerted the dynamic duo, and they arrived on the scene within seconds. And the look they had on them, and the look they had on their faces, was pure terror. The camera slowly turned back to Jonathan, or at least what was left of him. There was a pile of bloody clothes sitting under the rags. You could see a red-haired kid who looked very frightened. He looked at Batman and Robin with tear-filled eyes. "Professor Crane?" Robin asked carefully. Do you recognize us?" The kid remained silent for a while as he got up on his feet. His face was covered in blood, but that didn't seem to bother him. "Dimwit," he said, smiling. Batman and Robin looked at each other with great relief, and I have to say that I was quite happy to see that Jonathan Crane was still himself. I sat back on that couch. Now I knew why that episode was never aired. It would have been far too scary for kids. Batman got the kid in his arms and wrapped him up in his cape. Jonathan didn't even fight back. He seemed pretty sleepy, and I thought that he was maybe very happy to be safe. They brought him back to Arkham, explaining the situation to Dr. Bartholomew. At this point of the episode, I was like a kid in front of a Christmas tree. Now that I knew everything was back to normal, I knew I was going to be enjoying this episode. The 5 following minutes were rather annoying, in my opinion. It was all about Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn and their damn maternal instincts. Such as, all I want to do is cuddle you and read a good night story to you, and so on and so forth. Absolutely boring. But after the horrifying scenes I had seen, I was not going to complain. The time passed rather quickly, and Jonathan was still stuck in a kid's body. Things weren't so fun for him anymore. The other inmates were tired of having to take care of him, and the doctors were treating him like a toddler. One night, Batman came to the asylum to see if everything was okay. He found Jonathan sitting on his bed, looking very depressed and lonely. "How do you feel, Professor?" the Caped Crusader asked. "Dr. Bartholomew told me you were feeling quite morose."
Who wouldn't be? I hate being a child. I shouldn't have experimented on myself with this new toxin. Look at me. I'm a freak.
I was waiting for a comforting speech from Batman, but he wasn't there anymore. Instead, there was a note on Jonathan's door. "Hang yourself." I felt a shiver running down my spine. Who could have written such a horrible note? Batman? No, that was insane. Jonathan looked at the piece of paper for a minute. He didn't seem sad. No, just tired. Exhausted. The screen went black. The next morning, a nurse came in with all the inmates' cells to see if everything was all right. She entered Jonathan's cell. There was a moment of silence. She ran away, screaming as if she had seen the most horrible thing ever. The camera entered the cell very slowly. No music. Just the sound of a loud, very loud heartbeat. And there he was, grown up again, his face twisted into a horrifying expression of pain, and a noose around his neck. Jonathan, I screamed. And I think I'll never stop screaming.
I hope you enjoyed tonight's tale. Next time we will have Legends of the Hidden Temple, The Yellow Frogs, as read by yours truly. And until then, good night.